Arthur with the CBC News Break. The Barbados Workers Union is seeking a 15% salary increase for public sector workers. This disclosure from General Secretary of the BWU, Tony Moore, after a meeting with the union's members yesterday evening. Ms. Moore says the union signaled its members last year that they plan to approach the government for salary increases, and it seems like now is a good time.
As it relates to percentages that we propose for negotiations, whether in the private sector or the public sector, that is usually an executive council position. That is a position that found support with the workers when we discussed it this evening, that we should present what we have been presenting during the crisis in the private sector, and that is a proposal for a 2-year agreement, and we will be looking at a 15% across the board increase.
Ms. Moore says although the National Union of Public Workers is seeking a raise of 23%, the BWU believes 15% is a more practical increase.
The NUPW, I'm aware, they have submitted 23. That is where they would want to begin. Our negotiated position represents what the Barbados Workers Union has recognized as being practical within the context for the last 8 years that we were in crisis, and we thought that we should not vary that now only because it is public sector negotiations and only because that there has been an obvious trigger.
The BWU wants to submit its proposals by the end of the week. The body in the middle of a cane field at Bayfield yesterday has been identified. It's that of 42-year-old Michael Mapp of Bladesill St. Philip. Around 1:30 yesterday, family members looking for Mapp discovered his decomposing body in a shallow grave. They alerted police, who removed the body. An autopsy is to be done to determine the cause of death. In the same cane field, police also discovered and seized almost 900 cannabis plants and about 960 seedlings. Mapp's family reported him missing to the police on May 23rd after not seeing him since May 18th. His grandmother, Clarice Gwendolyn Mapp, was among those gathered at the tragic scene yesterday.
Michael was a nice grandson of mine. Whatsoever he had, he used to give me. Michael. It hurt me to hear it before he did. I hurt here. I hurt. Nobody know how I hurt.
The St. Michael man who sustained burns as he attempted to set his home ablaze 2 weeks ago at Pine Plantation Road has died from his injuries. Police were called to the scene on May 10th as Celia Merritt was allegedly acting erratic. He lived at the home with family members. Merritt, who was burnt about the body, reportedly charged at police officers. According to reports, police responded, and as a result, Merritt sustained a non-life-threatening gunshot injury to one of his shoulders. An autopsy is to be conducted to determine his cause of death. Team Barbados intends to start preparations for next year's Chelsea Flower Show later this year. This from coordinator Jennifer Weech, who is in London taking part in the prestigious show.
You have to think about next year again, I suppose, next May again. We start planning about November-ish or so and try to throw out some ideas and then consolidate them and come with the best ones, and that's how we proceed.
Ms. Weech noted concerns about drought conditions in Barbados affecting the preparations for the show. However, she says recent rainfalls before the flowers were picked helped Barbados mount the display that secured the gold medal.
They start to pick the bank holiday Monday. It was the 16th. They seem to have perked up the flowers a bit. So all flowers weren't bad. They were packed very well, and they came in good condition. The foliage I was amazed at. Because of the drought, we still got some very nice foliage. And there are some places in Barbados that allow us to go and pick foliage from their gardens, and a lot of the members of the society and friends of the society give from their garden. So, you know, we got through. I was a little bit more concerned this year because of the drought. But you see, I come up before the packing, before the picking. So I was very, very pleased when we opened the boxes and the material was in.
Producer of Man Up, Alex McDonald, says this year's event will give women the opportunity to see what piques the interest of men. He says the ladies will also get ideas of what to purchase for men on Father's Day. He was speaking during a media conference at the Concord Experience, where the event will be held. The show comes off on June 11th and 12th. There will be additional participants to make the show more exciting. Mr. McDonald added that this year's beer garden will also be bigger.
We're just trying to make a beer garden that is somewhere that even if you did nothing else and just came to the beer garden and lime in the beer garden, you would say it was a great show. And if anybody asked you what did you like best, you would have to make up stuff because the beer garden was so good.
Well, we'll have regional and international news after the break.